Let's welcome PRT number 8, Team A, Lifeline, and Team B, Pet Partner. Now, let's get started.
Excuse me, to the judges and Team B, unfortunately, my teammates are present in this Zoom, but they can't be the one answering questions because they have COVID and their throat hurts too much to talk. They will keep their cameras and microphones off. However, we'll come up with the answers together on a common doc. I apologize for all the inconveniences caused. Thank you.
Team A, please briefly introduce your business model after the sound.
Lifeline's ultimate goal is to deliver the best customer service to the patients in need. Our SMB attachment consists of a clip-on device on the tubing of the IV tube and an alarm. It is a simple yet elegant method at preventing the risk of air embolisms.
Team A and B, please begin the 2 minutes PRT session after the sound.
Imagine your pet suddenly stops eating, but you don't have.
Hey Lifeline, thank you so much for a 20-second pitch, and I hope your teammates get better soon. I was wondering if you have considered the costly and time-consuming procedure that your company has to go through to get your medical product licensed and regulated. Especially if you're starting internationally, how do you plan on tackling the different regulations in different regions and the expenses spent on prototyping and testing your product? Thank you.
Actually, we considered that within the threat section of our SWOT, and we understand the approval process in Taiwan is called the TFDA. And first of all, we'll start up in Taiwan, and the important parts are to determine the classification of the product and appoint a Taiwan agent to communicate with the TFDA, which will speed up the whole process of the approval process. And we will also fill in the quality system documentation to ensure clarity, which means it will be processed in a time span of approximately 3 to 4 weeks. For the rest of the time, we will be monitoring the market and our competitors to make sure that our product is suited for the market in the time being.
Thank you, Lifeline. That is a really great response. Now, my question is your product a reusable product? So assuming that your product successfully launches into the market, can you tell me how you plan to have a sustainable revenue stream as this is a one-time purchase for hospitals? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your question. We have done market research on hospitals within Taiwan, and there are like a lot of small clinics in particular, which require this technology. Right?
Team B, please briefly introduce your business model after the sound.
Imagine your pet suddenly stops eating, but you don't have time or money to see a vet right away. With cluttered information on the internet, it's easy to feel lost.
Introducing Pet Partner, a community forum for pet owners to ask and answer questions or have a certified professional answer your question within 24 hours at a low one-time fee.
Pet Partner, bringing care to your pets and reducing stress.
Team A and B, please begin the 2 minutes PRT session after the sound.
For your pitch, you have stated yourself that Pet Partner can be thought of as the core of pets. However, our primary concern is how this differentiates you from your competitors. Your customers are much more familiar with free forums such as Quora, which have already been established online communities. And what makes you think that Pet Partner is unique enough to attract these users away?
I think what makes Pet Partner unique from these online forums existing such as Quora, Juhu, or Facebook forum is the fact that we have centralized and professional information with targeted specific forum for specific breeds of pet, for pets of similar interest, right? So instead of finding information that's scattered all over the place and looking over different answers on different platforms like Quora, Facebook, or platforms that are not generally pet centralized without knowing which answers is trustworthy or reliable, we offer a target forum for pets of similar interest, like for example, pets of the same breed, the same district, or the same illness can have their own forum. This way they can receive reliable information and connect with pet owners who share similar experiences, while we also have 24-hour customer responses from certified vets, which is so much more cost and time effective in terms of looking online or physically visiting a vet. Thank you.
Thank you. Your business proposal states that users can even ask a professional vet with a small fee. The way you said you would convince these vets would be to use upfront costs, therefore a monetary incentive. Why do you think that this makes the vets willing to cooperate and post replies consistently with what would be a constant stream of questions within 24 hours?
Okay, first of all, we're not just targeting vets only. We're also targeting, internship vets or like medical students who have just graduated. So we think that this is really a good opportunity for starting out vets, especially this target audience, to gain exposure through our online platform and Pet Partner, as well as they can use this method to, make extra profit. As well as we think this is also a really good chance for vet students or interning vets to get them starting out experience, and that this will also benefit them largely.
Now, would the assigned judges please start your questions after the sound?
Okay, Team Lifeline. My question is, there are already many infusion control systems that is being used in the large hospitals. What unique feature or benefit does your product provide versus those infusion pump?
Yeah, okay. So currently, the most similar product on the market is the Monodrop by Monodor, which uses like a remote app and monitors for the flow rate and drops of vital fluids. So the intention of their business is similar to ours. However, our product is different, and our product is actually a very simple design, but it consists of like a simple infrared radiation sensor, a through beam sensor to be exact. So this is usually used in fluid dynamics and things like that, which we believe is suitable. So it also consists of a motor, and the device will automatically tighten, which makes it simple, easy to use, and effective in terms of preventing air embolisms. The fact they are attached to the nurse's room, but ours is attached to the nurses themselves in terms of the alarm, our effect is direct.
Okay, thank you for your answer. To you, Joe.
Yeah, so this question is about related, but what do you plan to do to validate your product, in particular, conduct testing to ensure that there are no false alarms, ensure the product press the tubing tight enough to prevent the air getting through, those kinds of things. What's your plan?
So actually, we have planned to conduct some small trial tests during like the research and development stage in willing participants within hospitals or hospitals that are willing to collaborate with us. Mm-hmm. And we might also collaborate with like these suppliers and check if their supplies are suitable in terms of whether it fits our product requirements and our market demand.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Team Pet Partners. I really like you bringing a non-team member into the competition. Okay, my question is, what is your plan to attract users to use your app at the initial stage?
I think we can answer this question in terms of customer acquisition and customer retention, right? In terms of customer acquisition, we offer 4 major ways to acquire customers. First is because of the unique value proposition of our company, because like we have already mentioned, what makes our company unique from all of the other existing market is how we're the sole unique platform that focuses on assisting pet owners through the process of raising a healthy pet through our services, such as community forum, vet inquiries, pet insurance, as well as paw shops, Petstagram, and booking services that we will offer in our 2nd and 3rd year, right? But secondly, in terms of how we actually get that large user base, that's when our marketing strategy comes into place, right? Our strategy includes first collaborating with 100 major pet stores in Shanghai to hand out pamphlets where in exchange, we will offer them advertising that reach 500 users for every 50 sign up via their shop code, and also Baidu search engine optimization. So this strategy actually allows us to reach a targeted audience group that would appeal to our product, which is pet owners in their initial 1st or 2nd stage of ownership with a lot of questions and seeking an active community, right? But moreover, we will also engage in social media marketing to attract the animal lovers lovers to also join our app. Thirdly, we also have a collaboration with pet insurance companies. Since their biggest marketing cost is spent on acquiring customer, we can assist them in finding new customers through our user base. This way, we establish a collaborative relationship where we assist them in finding new customers while they give our users a discount for insurance. As they save money on marketing costs, users will be attracted by this discounted pet insurance to join our app. And this way, we have a match incentive for both sides. I'll pass it on to Ting Ting to talk about customer retention.
Yeah, so to retain customers, we have a tokenization system for our loyalty scheme where users can earn a certain amount of tokens after uploading, downloading answers or answering questions or referring friends, which can then be exchanged for pet questions. So this will then encourage these users to stay active on our platform as well as continue staying and using our app. So the second point, we also have a gamification aspect where we offer different pet badges that are given to new and experienced pet owners, and further pet badges can be also earned by inviting a friend to join the app or being frequently active on the app. So what we do is that we create a positive loop where people are constantly engaged and being active on our app. And so therefore, this will then also incentivize more people to join our community forum, given that we've already established this large user base, and whilst also minimizing our churn rate. So therefore, we think that we've been able to gain a really large.
Thank you to all the judges and the teams. The teams can now click on the link provided in the chat section and continue to room 2.
Let's welcome PRT number 8, Team A, Lifeline, and Team B, Pet Partner. Let's start our video.
Team A, please briefly introduce your business model after the sound.
Lifeline's ultimate goal is to deliver the best customer service to the patients in need. Our SMB attachment consists of a clip-on device on the tubing of the IV drip and an alarm. It is a simple yet elegant method at preventing the risk of air embolisms, assisting both patients and hospital professionals.
Team B, please briefly introduce your business model after the sound.
Imagine your pet suddenly stops eating, but you don't have time or money to see a vet right away. With cluttered information on the internet, it's easy to feel lost.
Introducing Pet Partner, a community forum for pet owners to ask and answer questions, or have a certified professional answer your question within 24 hours for a low one-time fee. Pet Partner.
Now, would the assigned judges please start your questions after the sound?
Okay, hello, Team Lifeline and Team Pet Partner. First set of questions are going to be for Lifeline. I know this maybe sounds like a really naive or basic question because it's just a clip at the end of the day, but have you guys done research into whether or not your product will be considered a medical device and thereby require additional certification or licensure by the governing agencies?
Yeah, actually we have. So it would be considered a medical device. It would be considered a monitoring device, and this would come under like the approval process for medical devices, which I've mentioned in the previous Zoom was called the TFDA, and we determined the classification of the product as a medical monitoring device, and we will be filling in the necessary documentation, such as the quality system documentation, to ensure clarity on what our product does and is about, and the systems and mechanisms involved in it. And it will be processed in a time span of approximately 3 to 4 weeks.
So who developed this device? Is there like an engineering team, or because you need a certain technical expertise to make sure it works and it's reliable? So who did that?
Okay, thank you for your question. So the physics of it would be developed by an engineering team, and we have included that within our financial calculations. So basically the cost of hiring an engineering team to develop this product. But this product will also be consisting of components from our suppliers. So the parts such as the motor and the plastic outer shell, LED display, etc., will already be pre-made. However, we will be the ones putting them together and having an engineering team to make sure the product works properly.
And if I remember correctly, a big part of your plan requires partnership with some of the IV drip companies. How are you going to convince them to take your product versus some of the others that are very similar out there in the marketplace?
Okay, yeah. So that's a good question. Currently, the most similar product on the market is the Monodrop by Monodor, which has their business model and business intentions are similar to ours. However, the product is different. Our product is simple and easy to use and is both it consists of like really simple parts that have been used in other aspects such as monitoring fluids, which is the through beam sensor, and that emits like IR radiation to monitor the flow rate and the rate of like how much fluid and when the fluid runs out, which is important because we are the only product on the market which does that, which is why we stand out.
Okay, so it sounds like you're trying to differentiate mostly on features, but also ease of use.
Yes.
Okay, not necessarily on cost though.
Oh, our cost is based on like competitor pricing. So on our financial calculation, it's stated in units of 10. The price would be 4,500 NT dollars, which is approximately like 120 US dollars. Yeah.
So that's kind of in the middle of the range for as far as some of the competitors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And you're targeting it to get out in the market, you're targeting mostly the IV drip companies, or are you going to look more like the hospital chains?
Actually, we'll be looking mostly at the smaller clinics within Taiwan and also some elderly care homes because there's a potential for a large market. In Taiwan, there's approximately 22,000 clinics, small clinics that are operating around and 1,000 care homes.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's about all the time we have for team one. Team two. So right off the bat, community for sharing advice, tips, and good information. That sounds like much of the social media, social internet. Why should I be coming to Pet Partner when I can probably put a question out on Facebook or WeChat or somewhere else and ask my friends, hey, my dog isn't eating, what should I do?
Thank you for your question.
So
Okay.
to understand our market and our competitors, we first have to understand that there's like a journey of owning pets, right? So like there's different stages. The first stage being when you're purchasing a pet, then raising it once a kid, and then when it becomes an adult, and finally when it becomes an elderly. So, there's different stages in this market, and Pet Partner is specifically trying to tackle the problems the customer encounter in the first two stages when like pet owners are still trying to figure out the ins and out knowledges that will help them to correctly raise a healthy pet. So in our current market, when a pet, right, when it's dealing with problems, when it's say it's not eating, our go-to response is, as you said, to go to the internet, right? Maybe search on Google and Baidu, especially in China. But the problem with these sites is that information are really scattered. We don't know which sites to trust, and overall it's a really not trustworthy and really messy process. And there's a lot of unnecessary scrolling, right? And onto the second part of the question, there are also big forums like Facebook forums. In China, we have Baidu Zhidao and Zhihu, which are basically like Chinese forums, right? But the problem with these Q&A forums is that these Q&A forums are not pet-centric, meaning that they're not comprehensive enough. They're not as in-depth as us. And a lot of the pet-related problems that owners might encounter are not covered because these forums are too general, right? And sometimes these new pet owners can't get the responses they need, and these forums are not getting the job done because it's way too general. And more so than often, actually, owners will have to turn to vets, right, for professional, but sometimes also really simple answers. This alternative might be trustworthy, but at the same time, it's really timely and it's also extremely expensive. So, which charges up to like 2,000 RMB. So therefore, we believe that our options our options much more much more timely, right? It's also a lot cheaper. We're more comprehensive, and finally, we're also more accessible compared to our competitors.
Elko?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of mentioned veterinarians here. So how are you gonna kind of reach out to them? Is that also part of your distribution strategy for marketing? Kind of how do you describe that relationship?
Thank you for your question. I think I'll be answering this one. I think there is a unique incentive for vets to be incentivized to join our platform. We have 4 reasons for this. The first is because this is actually an opportunity for them to gain more experience. So for example, for intern certified vets that might not have a lot of experience or exposure to the current market, this is a great opportunity for them to enhance their horizon and to be expected and experienced to the problems regarding the problems faced by pet owners in the current society, right? But secondly, they can also become an active part of the growth of a pet, which is unique with Pet Partner, which provides a unique sense of contentment and engagement that is otherwise not achieved working at a vet institution, right? But thirdly, we also think this is a way for them to increase credibility and enhance their reputation, because if you answer a considerable amount of questions on the platform, more people would recognize you as a trustworthy vet. This will you increase your credibility and your reputation, where your name or your clinic would gain a sense of trust and fame within a major pet community and become a top priority when pets perhaps actually need to pay a visit, right? But lastly, I think they can gain a considerable amount of profit, which I would pass it on to Stanley to explain the stats.
Yep. So an average vet in Shanghai earns about 146 RMB per hour. Assuming it takes about 3 minutes to answer each question, that would translate to about 7 RMB per question. Because users have to pay 20 RMB per vet question, we'll be paying vets 12 RMB, which is more than their average salary, giving them an additional income stream.
Thank you to all the judges and the teams. The teams can now leave the meeting room.
Good luck,
Team A.
teams.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.